go live and we can make it happen. So it says on live.
Can I even live on TikTok or on YouTube? Do you have to like have a certain number of subscribers?
Right. It says we're live, Jerry, so we might be live right now. I'm just warning everybody. Pretty sure we're live.
Are we live?
I think we're live. I'm trying to get straight to my videos so I can watch comments.
How long have we been live?
We're live, just for a few seconds.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yep, so I got comments up. We're live, doing another Tech Talk Thursday. We're just confirming everything's going. So I gotta get back to that tablet real quick. Give us a few minutes.
That shot really is wide. That's crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah, whenever you're ready to kick whatever you're doing in, I'm about to set this one up.
Are you living also?
This one, yeah, basically this one cuts off at the end of the amp dyno. So as long as you squeeze up next to me, you'll be good on here.
Oh, maybe.
There you go.
I just came to hang out. Let's see how it's done.
That's fine.
Well, if you want, you can put the tablet in the middle there and I can slide my tripod over.
No, it's all good. I just gotta type real quick. And we'll see. We get some interaction on the YouTubes. Yeah, we're live on YouTube, guys. Doing another Tech Talk Thursday. If you got any questions, get them ready. We're about to start firing off some answers.
I can't live on TikTok or on YouTube.
Well, then you don't have enough subscribers yet?
No. It says ready in 24 hours. It takes 24 hours to activate your account for live streaming.
Okay.
TikTok it is.
So here we go. I'm clicking go live on the Tic Tacs. 3, 2, 1. Trying to get the camera on.
So you're looking for comments on yours, right? On the laptop, right?
I can see comments on all of them.
Okay. Well, I guess
I could probably get yours pulled up too if I need. But there we go. All right. Yep, we're live on TikTok and YouTube. Excuse me. Yep, what's up, guys? We're going live, doing another Tech Talk episode here, answering your car audio questions. And it does not have to be Sundown specific. Any car audio questions at all, we're going to answer them today. Actually, to start off, Jared, can you hand me what's on top of that banner right there?
This.
So we got something extra special. I'm going to go ahead and show y'all to start this episode off. Yeah, we can just snatch those wires off.
Oh, that's the same DSP.
Oh yeah, did you see this? Yeah, so did you yesterday, Dave.
You did.
I forgot already.
Brand new, no exact ETA to be released, but you're seeing it live here for the first time. I'll start dropping some pictures probably later tonight. Brand new from Sundown Power Sports, SAM DSP. So going along with our super small SAM amplifiers, that's the Sundown Audio Power Sports lineup. These things are seal designs, so they are water resistant, they are compact, they're going to be very inexpensive, and yeah, it's going to have full integrated DSP with Bluetooth built in. So that's one of the coolest features we do on our multi-channels for the Sundown Power Sports amps is the built-in Bluetooth. So obviously the DSP will have Bluetooth built in as well.
Really cool feature.
Have the USB plug. We're working on, polishing up the software for it right now. Software that you can USB hook straight to it.
Just so I'm clear, like if your DSP is Bluetooth, then none of the rest of your amps need to be.
Correct.
So yeah, everything runs through this.
So and I currently run a DSP. I'm running Dayton on my Polaris Razor right now, and it's got built-in Bluetooth and all. But yeah, with just having Bluetooth in, you don't need any of your input RCAs. You want any of those Bluetooth straight to this with your phone, your tablet, whatever you choose. Run your outputs to your amplifiers. Good. So we have 8 channels of output, fully adjustable. Will be a ton of adjustability, which is the point of the DSP. But we're polishing up the software, getting an app done. So my hopes by the end of the year. I like to put an extra ETA out on everything, but I'm hoping by the end of the year we will have this available and in the hands of consumers.
Derek, how long is the delay?
I'm not sure. Probably 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, it seems like around
something like that.
or something.
All right. I was having technical difficulties.
Yeah, so Jerry's working on
That-
getting his live
bro.
going.
What?
That should be the name of your like YouTube channel.
Technical
Since you're
difficulties.
the tech
Oh,
guy.
that's good. That's
That is a good one. I like that name, Dave.
I bet it's already taken.
Actually,
If
I was
not,
gonna go with.
somebody's gonna take it now. I said it.
All right,
I did get
finish.
technically speaking though.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nope, real here.
All right. How do we flip this? That's how we do it.
There we go. All right, I got my TikTok comments up.
Tic Tac.
So I just got logged into TikTok. Guys, we're live over there as well. We're logged in. If you have any questions, you're watching on TikTok, fire away at your car audio questions. They do not need to be specifically
I wonder-
Sundown audio related.
I wonder if anybody misses Geo unboxing motors
Yeah,
live
yes.
on TikTok,
Yes.
talking crap.
Everybody misses Geo.
I know I do sometimes. Just him screaming in the morning.
I still do that.
So
Wake me
for today, we got Dave. Dave, you want to introduce yourself, or would you prefer me do it? What you do, who you are?
I'm no one.
So we got Dave Lee, owner of DL Designs and Sundown Retro. So we'll start. Let's talk about Sundown Retro. Sundown has some very famous subwoofers, namely the Nightshade version 3.
Yep.
Was a super popular version of the Nightshade that we did, and has remained popular throughout time. We are currently next month we start building the NS version 6s, but the NS version 3 is still a super popular subwoofer. So Dave actually spearheaded a project in bringing that subwoofer back as a Sundown Retro subwoofer. So Dave owns that company and
NSV3
helped bring all that back.
and the ZV4 Retro.
Mhm.
I thought the NSV3 was going to sell out quicker, but a ZV4 actually ended up being a little bit more popular.
Yeah, you think that could have been with the price point? Price point was
Probably, yeah, of course.
was a little
Yeah.
more attractive on that
Yeah.
the ZV4 version.
Yeah, those were starting at like 500, and then I had that 3,500 watt coil for them, which was a huge upgrade.
Yeah, the ZV4 is way back in the day of bass boxing. Bass boxing competitor Nick Watts, who don't really compete anymore, but Nick was doing some pretty intensive thermal abuse on some subwoofers, and Jake designed a really robust, beastly coil that worked very well in those ZV4 motors back then.
I think he said he was clamping 8,300 per coil,
Yeah,
per sub.
It was nuts. He was pushing
12.
a ton of power in those things back in the day. Had some insane numbers for the time, for bass boxing at the time, in a no wall setup.
Yeah.
Doing very insane numbers. But yeah, so if y'all are not familiar, go follow Sundown Retro, specifically on Facebook. I think that's the main place you advertise.
Yeah.
Facebook. We'll be working on the next batch of some potential Sundown Retro stuff coming out. So just go give that page a follow, give it a like, and follow that. And we'll be doing some probably mutual social media advertising with me and Dave, and promoting a lot of his stuff through DL Designs.
Thanks, Derek.
Also, if you need
You're the
any
man.
rebuilds done, any drop-ins done, and it's not specific to Sundown product, this is for any subwoofer out there. If you need something rebuilt, you can contact Dave on DL Designs through Facebook. Contact him, shoot a message, let him know what you have and what you're looking to do, and he can rebuild pretty much every subwoofer.
Almost any sub, yeah.
We're gonna say about every subwoofer in existence. I'm giving you extra credit.
I get a lot of requests for like JL subs, and they're I don't mess with them. The parts are too hard to get.
Yeah, so it's similar in an instance like with JL, and there are a few companies out there that the parts are a little more exclusive or proprietary. So most of the parts we run here are interchangeable. Like if you run a 3-inch coil, we probably have
We're getting away from that though.
with the new stuff. The new stuff has shifted a little bit, but
But fortunately,
we're gonna
Sundown's always got recones in stock, so
Yeah.
it's not like you can't get recones.
Well, it's just for instance, if you had
Compared
say,
to like a JL, like you have to send your sub into them. It's
Yes.
very expensive.
But if you had any basic 3-inch coil sub, we very likely, almost 100%, we're going to have a coil in stock here in the building that will work in about any 3-inch coil subwoofer out there.
Yes.
So in that instance, it varies. It's almost any name brand. If you got a sub that's worth rebuilding, we're going to go and say there's about a 99.99% chance Dave can hook you up with that.
4-inch as well, yeah.
And 4-inch too. We got a pretty good assortment of 4-inch coils.
Yep.
And in most cases, also, we're pretty proud of our sockets here at Sundown. We don't buy generic off-the-shelf parts from China. We actually have our parts are custom tooled, custom designed. We put a lot of R&D into them. So if you're running another manufacturer's product, their odds are pretty good that when you recone to the parts that Dave's going to procure from Sundown to do this rebuild in another manufacturer sub, it's going to perform better. It's very good likelihood it's going to perform better, get louder, sound better, play lower, every which way. So
Yeah, I've been rebuilding other companies' subs with Sundown parts for 8 or 9 years, and across the board the performance has been better.
Without a doubt.
I mean, that's stuff I've personally tested back when I was competing. It's not just like biased because I work here.
You made me think of something, and I'm gonna have to edit some of the names in the story. So there's we have
this is getting good.
this is gonna be a great story. So we have certain parts guys, and Dave's one of them, and we have certain parts guys that we always sell parts to. There's a small handful of them, and somebody that reps as a team from another manufacturer, a very other popular manufacturer out there, had their subs rebuilt from somebody else who happens to be one of our parts guys. This team guy, I guess, did not know that parts guy got all his parts from here at Sundown. And in one conversation, in almost the same sentence, this guy put down Sundown Audio as being an inferior product, bragged about this other manufacturer's stuff that he was a team member on, and then bragged about how much better his subs got when he had them rebuilt by this certain parts guy. And I immediately went, he had them rebuilt with all Sundown parts. That's why they got better. And yeah, that was a.
I don't know the story, but I could probably.
I can tell you the whole story later. I don't want to make anybody look bad. But
No,
this is a real story that one of our parts guys rebuilt another manufacturer subs, and the guy on that team thought they were awesome because that guy rebuilt them. When it turns out they were all ran Sundown parts, and and literally he's in the same group of sentences. He dogged us, bragged about this. It's like, bro, all your subs have Sundown parts in it. So that's a hilarious story. Yeah. All right, let's dive into some questions. Let's see.
Questions.
Not yet.
No.
We'll see. We'll get there.
All right.
Hey,
All
Jay
right.
Stubbs on.
Where you see Jay at?
What's up,
Did
bud?
I just
You
scroll
went
by?
past him, yeah.
Oh, what's up, Jay? I ain't hung out with Jay in a minute from hanging out base racing back in the days in Florida.
Yep.
So let's see.
Always annoyed me. I could never give him a high five. I won.
Oh.
All right, so here's our first.
Kick my ass next time he sees me.
First, hey, have you ever arm wrestled Jay Staub? Bro,
Oh, that'd be difficult.
If Jay, if you're on, you remember getting drunk at the bar and you arm wrestling the entire bar. Bro.
Wait, wasn't this me?
No, that was another night.
There's another
That was
time?
another
There's
night.
another-
No, bro, Jay
All right,
Staub
wait,
arm
Dave
wrestled
did
the
that
whole
too.
I knew
bar.
me and Jay had a lot in common.
All right, first question up. Are you planning on any high voltage amps, 400 volt
Oh,
DC?
Hell no.
Bro, I don't know if you even know what you're asking there. That's a ridiculous question. No, we will never do high voltage amps. I don't recommend high voltage, especially on the DC side. High voltage DC is very dangerous, insanely dangerous. Like you will die. I don't recommend it. I would very much recommend staying away from all high voltage input amplifiers out there. They are ridiculous. Just don't do it. We'll keep that question short.
They
and simple.
can get insanely efficient. I've seen some crazy stuff out of them, but I don't think the reward is worth the risk.
No,
All right,
it's
well-
because you ground one thing and then you turn the car into a paperweight.
It's the,
Yeah.
the
We've seen it
fires
happen.
that have.
Well,
I've seen.
I'll dive into it a little bit further. Here's some of the biggest issue in high voltage DC when it comes to car audio. Besides the danger of high voltage DC, when you come to direct current at high voltage, like it will f you up very fast, way worse than AC voltage will, because DC is always going to be high current. AC stuff is typically low current, and the current is what gets you. You get to DC and high voltage, high current goes along with it, you will die very fast. But here's the other biggest issue when it comes to car audio is to get that high voltage in car audio with DC batteries, you have to series a bunch of batteries together. Well, the problem is when you take, say, you got 12 volt batteries, you run 10 of them in series, now you got 120 volts DC. Well, those 10 batteries just became one battery. So you actually lose capacity. So you can't go be like, oh, I've got 10 batteries and I've got all this capacity. No, you put 10 batteries in series, you just got a fraction of your capacity. So the amount of batteries you need to run to efficiently and effectively run a high voltage setup is absolutely insane. Most people don't do it properly. They buy a bunch of batteries, run one series bank, and they only have a fraction of their capacity, and they can't support the amp. Yeah. And so it's not worth it. The money you have to put in the electrical makes it not worth it because it offsets the cheap price of a high voltage amplifier.
Bro, we gotta get to this. This question. Hustle. Can I get a 1500 watt amp RMS
For less than 150?
Bro, let's go back. How much did you clamp out of that Boss 4K? The AR4000.
The Boss 4K it's went up in price. I don't remember what it's at right now, But yeah, the Boss AR4000D was one of my favorite budget amps. When I bought mine years and years ago, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I bought that amp for $90, and it's about a good 1100-ish watt amp.
I think
I think certified I got 1100 out of it.
100, right around $100.
Yeah.
Just under, yeah.
Now before that, the Audio Pipe Mini,
Yeah.
when they count the AP Minis, they have
right around
the 1K,
$100.
the 1500, and they have a 2K now. They're pretty cost effective. Random shout out. It's going to be more than 150. Push your budget up to 209.
What's that in it? Black
Diamond.
Black Diamond.
So Big Jeff of Big Jeff Online has come out with a Black Diamond series of amps, and he has the Black Diamond 2K 2000 watt amp. Spoiler alert, he's supposed to be sending me one here. We're gonna throw it on the dyno and do a full bench test workup. So one will be coming very soon for me to test out. But yeah, it's one of the best deals I'm finding right now for a really solid, what appears to be a really solid, powerful half bridge great amp. And it's currently on sale at Big Jeff Online for $209.95. It's an insane deal for what it is for a solid 2K amp. I'm predicting, from what I've seen of it and other amps I've tested similar, I'm predicting it's probably going to do about 2400-ish clean on the dyno right here. So look for it coming soon here to the Sundown official channel, the Black Diamond 2000. We're going to amp dyno it, do a full workup, put it all on.
And now remember, y'all can't say we hate on other brands. We just plugged Boss, Audio Pipe, and Big Jeff's Black Diamond.
Yeah. And in another spoiler alert, I'm in talks with Big Jeff also now. Big Jeff wants to get me on his podcast. I think it's going to be about a month or so away. I forget the actual date, but I'm planning on being on the Big Jeff podcast. It'll be on a Thursday evening about 7:30, but it's actually going to be me and the guys from Audio Pipe. We're supposed to be on there at the same time. That's what we're trying to coordinate right now.
I see a tech support question for Jerry right there.
This one?
Faith, and why does my Sundown amp run hot? There's a blue million reasons.
All right.
Get at it, Jerry.
You see this one? You gonna take it?
And one's 2 8s. Okay.
All right, Jerry's taking this tech support question. I'll read it. You answer it.
All right.
So the question from Faith here is, why does my Sundown amp run hot? It's a 1500 watt and runs 2 Sundown 8s. I do wish, if asking questions like this, that generically saying it's a 1500 watt, especially if it's a Sundown amp, give us the actual part number and it could help us out a little better. There are different versions of amps, and some amps are a little more underrated than the others, or a little more average rated, and it can help us answer these questions more in detail for you.
So what's the 1500s that we make? Did the SFB come in 1500?
Yep. There was an
I'm
SFB
just gonna
1500.
assume that one,
The
even
SAZ.
though the SAZ.
The
That's
only
pretty bulletproof.
current 1500 watt. We do have a SAM 1500. We do have the SAZ Anniversary Edition 1500 that we currently sell. Prior to that, there was the SFB 1500. It is discontinued. We had a SAE 1500, which is still being sold. It's still some distributors being sold. They're dirt cheap on Amazon right now. Dropping Hertz has a bunch of those. But the SAE 1500 also is one we just recently discontinued. So it could be any number of these.
I used to know every product that Sundown made, and now I'm just like,
There's a lot.
my brain hurts.
All right, you're up, Jerry. Why does my Sundown amp run hot?
Well, when it comes to heat, there's quite a few different factors that play a role there. I mean, one of them could be where the amp is mounted, cooling. Is the amp in direct sunlight?
Are you in Florida?
Are you in Florida? How hard you're pushing it?
Are you wired to the right ohm load?
Can we get some more detail so that we can better answer that question?
Yeah, I'll pick it back onto you. One of the things I've seen, and previously with some of our older amps, specifically was during the time frame of the SCB lineup. SCB lineup, which you'll see back here on the bench behind us, like that one right there, the black cases. And we would have guys that would mount them, especially in, say, in the back of an SUV or something, where they would be on a top or a side of a box, where they would literally be in direct sunlight. And if it's black and it's in direct sunlight, it's going to absorb heat. And we have seen that issue where people, especially being out in shows.
Keep an eye out, Jerry.
I wasn't going to say it.
People being out in shows in the summertime, it's hot, and that direct heat will heat soak a case. With the newer salt amps, like you see right here, the silver cases, they don't get they're not subject so much to the sunlight, but it still can be an issue. So keep that in mind. As well as you said, where it gets mounted, I've seen guys mount amps in some crazy places, including underneath seats, underneath enclosures, mounting them behind panels, and yeah, you don't block your amp in such a way that it can't get some kind of airflow. The reason you see these pieces here, these are cooling fins. And all amps are going to have cooling fins of some sort on them. Even our SCV series has cooling fins down the sides. Even the notch you see on the top, there's all active heat sinks. The whole thing is a heat sink, and it needs airflow to cool it and to keep that away.
That's why guys mount like external marine fans and or PC fans, stuff like that, for extra airflow.
Yeah. Funny enough, if you think about it, most people don't, but your amplifier itself, if you mount an amplifier normal like this, your amp is actually inverted. So your board's facing the opposite direction. And especially in that direction, you have to have the heat sink to it to pull the heat away from that board and get the heat out of your amp. So make sure of that.
Yeah, you can also put some like rubber spacers when you mount the amp, just to lift it off. Like even 1/8 of an inch would help. 1/4 inch or so.
Yeah, any little bit
to let air pass underneath the amp is going to help.
Now here's one thing I didn't see you mention: improper electrical. So if you have an amp, and this amp's say it's an SAZ 1500, which we rate at 1500 watts, but it'll do a good bit more. So it's honestly, it's probably close to a 2000 watt amp. If you have that amp and you tried to run a very improper electrical and you're dropping voltage, when you drop voltage, your amplifier will still want to make the same power. And when voltage drops, it means current goes up, and current creates heat, and your amp's going to run hotter than what it should. So make sure your electrical is adequate.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
let's give these guys an idea, because like Jerry sees this every day. He gets calls every day from people that are running 1,000 watt, 1,500 watt, 2,000 watt, 3,000 watt, sometimes even bigger. Stock electrical. All right. Even if you have good wiring.
We had guys when the stimulus checks hit, it was the exact amount to buy the SFB 8000s. And we sold so many SFB 8000s, and then we got returns. One guy, we had a return come in, they literally had 18 gauge power wire in it.
No.
And it's like, no, you were taking, basically the story I say, you can't take an 8,000 watt amp and run it in your 2002 Ultima on stock electrical. It's not going to work.
Just to make, like, give an example, in my daily van, I got one run of 0 gauge, odd gauge, whatever you want to call it. Everything's stock battery, stock alternator. I'm only running a SFB 600 watt RMS amp. If I turn it all the way up, it will cut out. I do not have enough electrical to support 600 watts. So if you think you're going to support 1,000 or 1,500, it's not going to happen. Your amp's going to run really hot, and you're not going to make full power out of the amp either.
You got one?
Yep.
Or are you watching mine?
Yep. I couldn't get mine to work, so I just went over to your YouTube.
Shameless plug here. Guys, we got a ton of questions coming in. We're going to do the best we can to try and blast through them. I normally don't do this, but if you really, really want your question answered and you're on the Sundown Official YouTube, throw a super chat out there. It will automatically pop up to the top and let me see it. So if you really, really want your question answered, throw a super chat out, and that'll pop it up at the top for me and guarantee your question can get answered. All right, so we are going to switch over. We were doing some TikTok questions. Let's switch over to YouTube. Here's the easy question for you, Dave. Sundown E12, which model amplifier should he buy?
An E12?
For an E12. E12 would be 500 watts RMS.
SFB 600 would be, I mean, those things are little bulletproof. They're tiny. They're like the size of a crossover. Very efficient.
Warranty returns approved.
We never get those back on warranty.
SFB 600 is a tank. Even though the SFB line has a little bit of a stigma to it because the SFB line traditionally can't handle abuse very well. It's a very inexpensive amp. It doesn't have the extra overbuilt protections in it like our Salt series here does. It's a very inexpensive, very budget line of amps. That being said, SFB also is the Sundown full bridge amps, except for the SFB 600. It is actually a half bridge amp, which makes it a lot more of a tank, and it is overbuilt. I personally, there are abuse videos right here on the Sundown Official YouTube channel. Go look them up. I did an abuse video on that thing where I even took it up. I ran it over 20 volts, and I believe I ended up getting close to 1,000 watts out of that amp at one point. I want to say it was around 960-ish or so like that. But it is a super tank of an amp, very powerful, inexpensive, and tiny.
I think it's like $150 retail.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you got your questions working yet?
Oh, no, I gave up.
All right.
But I do have a question.
I can't see these.
On the SAM, the DSP, let's see. How many input and output channels on the Sundown DSP, and what is the RCA output voltage?
So it's basically, say how many input and output channels? So we're calling it the SAM, and I don't know if y'all can see over here. SAM 8.8 DSP. So we have eight channels. 8 channels in, 8 channels out. Other than that, the rest of the details I can't speak on yet exactly because we're having to polish up the software. So we got it in, it works, but until we get the software, the app done, I can't go through 100% of all bench testing yet. I literally got this yesterday. That's how recent we got it. Literally got it yesterday. It is still going through all the rest of that. So I can only give you some very generic answers about it right now. Just that what you see is what you're going to get, tiny, and it's going to work great. We won't release it until it works great. And I'm pushing hard to get the software polished, make it very intuitive, very easy to use, because that's really important to me.
I feel like we would have different answers for this
Oh,
question.
shit.
We're live, bro. Don't come in here cursing. Asshole.
Original. You want to join us?
Nah.
All right, Dave, I'll give you this question. This will be easy. Can anyone in the chat help me out? I have a 12X V3. What amp should I need for it?
That's XV3 got bumped up to what, 1750 RMS?
No, U15 is 1750. X is now 2,000 watts RMS.
Oh, okay. I thought they were the same. That makes sense.
Yep, X is now 2,000. Z is now
coils.
2,500. Nightshade is 3,000, and then SDDN is 3,500.
Cool.
The answer is only Salt 3.
So,
Do you know the current line amps?
yeah, if you can afford salt power, that would be my go-to, of course.
Salt 2.
Yeah, 1.5, 2. Salt 2, I think, would be optimal.
Yeah, typically Sundown has very conservative subwoofer ratings. So if we tell you next 12 will handle 2,000 watts, it's actually going to handle probably about 50% more.
Yeah, it's the ZV5 coil, which guys have been known to throw
A lot.
4K to. I mean,
Yeah.
you're really you're gambling if you're throwing 4K to that coil, but I wouldn't recommend it.
You got a top chat out here.
But if you want to keep my recon business in business,
Yeah.
keep throwing 4 and 5K to 3-inch coils.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so to discuss, on a general rule of thumb, we underrate all our subwoofers. So if we say an X12 is rated at 2,000 watts, rough rule of thumb, it'll probably handle a good about 50% more than that. So about 3,000 watts, you're going to be good. Now, where that matches up is with Sundown Salt amps, they're also underrated by about 50%. So you take a Sundown Salt 2, you're going to get about 3K, close to that, give or take, different variables. But Salt 2 is going to do about 3,000 watts. So Salt 3 is going to do over 4,000. As we've seen in amp demo videos, Salt 4 actually does about 6,000 watts. So 6 does about 9,000. And then you get up, Salt 8 does 12,000. And then a Salt 12 does 11 billion. I've literally clamped 27,000 watts out of Salt 12 before. So
Did you
yeah,
say 11 billion?
I did. 11 billion.
Cool number.
All right, we got a super chat. Oh, it's Aaron. What's up from DS18?
Oh,
So here's a good example. So Aaron used to be
Aaron.
Team Sundown back in the day, and he got a job.
Yeah.
He got a job working for DS18, and I believe he actually at the time. I remember him shooting some messages over to us, and it's like no hard feelings, whatever. And bro, it's all good. You got a job over there. You look like y'all been doing great. You've been doing great. I follow all your social media. I try and give you likes on TikTok and all that. I love what y'all are doing over there. So we don't mind. I know people at all kinds of companies. I know guys over there at DS18, Incriminator, DC, Crossfire. A lot of these guys I've literally come up with in-car audio. I've been in car audio for a very long time and been working with these guys, competing with these guys for a very long time. So there's no hard feelings between us and other companies. It's a big myth. I should probably do a myth test Monday about this and just post selfies with me and all a bunch of the owners from these other companies and competitors and us hanging out. Because you will literally see us out at dinner after a bunch of these big shows like finals and stuff. And
Yeah, but talking crap is fun sometimes.
oh
though,
yeah, talking
right?
crap is always fun. But
It's like back in the day with WWE wrestling, man. It's like they're all hanging out afterwards, friends, but talking
yeah.
crap to each other.
Well, I remember I posted. I think it was we were out with I was with Nick Wright, and it was me and Nick Wright with an Uber. I think from finals last year or something. And
Nick Wright's a dick.
I want to say I think it was from
Nick's
Nick.
pretty
Anyway,
cool.
I had a selfie of me and Nick Wright in this Uber, and somebody commented on my social media like, "What are you doing hanging out with the enemy?" It's like,
Yeah.
enemy, dude. I've known this guy for years. What are you going on about?
Oh yeah,
But-
Nick helped Sundown out in the beginning, in the early days.
Yeah, Nick and Jake are old friends. That Jake's probably known Nick as long as he's known the other Nick from Stereo Integrity. And
Yeah.
Stereo Integrity is literally in the same building with us. They were college friends coming up.
Yep.
So we all get along very well. Here's one I'll take. It's be short and simple. Any updates on the NSV6? Yep, we start building them first of the month. So I have
I'm gonna be busy.
I have what should be a locked-in confirmation date Should be first week of next month, which is coming up very soon, which is only 2 weeks away. So we'll say 3 weeks away. The container of container of motors is supposed to land. As far as the current ETA I'm given, the current paperwork I got in my hands, and as soon as they show up, they will literally go straight into the build rooms. All three build rooms will be stocked full.
Are the SDDM motors and NSV6 coming in at the same time?
So no, that's so they're offset. Here's a slightly. I'll do another update.
Be a rough month.
Besides NSV6 motors, which show up in 3 weeks, we have 3 containers. All 3 have the final SDDN motors. So we're doing a 500-piece run. We had the first batch of motors show up a month ago or so. We went through all of those. We have 3 more containers with the final 3 batches of motors showing up in 2 weeks. And so SDDM motors will be in full production then, as well as the 3 weeks, right behind those, we have a container of Nightshade version 6 motors showing up. All those will be going straight into build rooms. SDDNs, and we'll be very specific in how I say this. We sell to distributors and dealers. SDDNs are sold out here at the manufacturer. All of the 500-piece run is already accounted for. They will all be going straight to dealers and distributors. If you want an SDDN, you can still purchase one from dealers and distributors. Dealers like Down for Sound Shop, Big Jeff Online, Drop and Hertz, Audio Apex. You can still go purchase them from those guys. They will have them in stock until they sell out. But as far as us, if you're a dealer, we are 100% sold out. You got to get them from the distributors now. So then we go with all the motor updates. Here we go, Jerry. It's kind of a question, but more of a statement. We'll tell these people what to do. Currently have a Saya 2500, keeps going into protection mode. What do you recommend this guy do?
All right, so we're talking troubleshooting, right? Yep.
Anyway, hold on. Shameless plug. We have amplifier troubleshooting videos right here on the Sundown Official YouTube channel. So just
a good resource.
Just check out Sundown amplifier troubleshoot, and that video will come up. But here live, we'll let Jerry answer. What would you go through to troubleshoot an amplifier?
First thing, disconnect everything. I'm going to go for power, ground, remote, and then from there, if it's still throwing a code at that point, I personally would probably call me. But if not, then
How do they call you?
How do they call me? Oh, I don't know. I've never called me.
You gotta give me what's your extension?
My extension is 110.
Extension 110. So our phone number here is 828-459-1980. Extension 110 will get you straight to Jerry, and Jerry is our primary tech support guy. He is the Sundown tech support, and shameless plug, you can follow him on all social media, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Sundown Tech Support. We're gonna get your website set up, sundowntechsupport.com.
Oh, all right. I'm down with it.
Merch coming soon.
Deal. But yeah, past that, I would go into trying to isolate. Obviously, what the customer said, well, the commenter said that, what did they say? Shit.
They said they have a side 2500 keeps going to protect.
Okay, so
they're gonna do basic troubleshooting of disconnecting the amp, power ground remote, make sure there's no issues with the speaker outputs or the signal input.
Mm-hmm.
Next up.
Hold out your sub. That's one of the biggest tech questions that I get, and that's what it normally ends up being.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, a blown sub will very quickly cause the amp to see a short, throw it into protection. Amp might not be bad, could just be a sub. And then past that, if it's doing that whole dialing down thing, which Derek explains way better than I do, that could just be the SIA smart technology.
Yeah, so basically what Jerry's referring to, all SIA amplifiers have what we call our intelligent amplifier technology built in. And it will prevent you from abusing your amplifier. And essentially, the easiest way to break it down is going to stop you from doing an overcurrent situation. The biggest killer of amplifiers, specifically the SFB line, is people try and run them too hard, overdrive them. When you overdrive an amplifier, you cause too much current output. That will destroy an amp. It will also create a ton of heat, and destroying an amplifier will blow up your output transistors. You try to overdrive it or try to wire it too low. When you say instead of 1 ohm, you wire to half ohm. Half the resistance gives you twice the current output. And amplifiers can just only take so much abuse. When you have a budget amplifier like this, they're not set up to take that much abuse. The intelligent protection will dial back the current output. So if you try to overdrive the amplifier, the protection will dial it back, and you'll get what I call the wonky sound. So your sound will kind of go wah, 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 which is the intelligent protection pulling back the current output, essentially pulling back power. And if that's the situation, it means you're trying to overdrive your amplifier in some way, shape, or form. Either wire it to a 1 ohm load or higher, or check your signal input. You're probably trying to overdrive your signal input.
But half ohm is live.
Now, worst case scenario, if you disconnect everything on your Science 2500, you hook up your power ground remote, and with no RCA's hooked up, no speaker wire hooked up, it automatically starts cycling through protection mode. Contact tech support, or just go ahead to this website, go to the I forget what the drop down is, but go to the website, do the RMA form, and send your amp in, and we'll check it out.
This is my plug. Let me do it. I got it. You want to go to our website, sundownaudio.com, click on the support tab, drop down to submit an RMA, and then fill out that form. We will respond to you within 1 business day and let you know, or responding via email with an RMA number as well as shipping instructions.
How many times a day do you get to say that, Jerry?
27 is the record.
27 billion. Next question. You say ZV8, but I don't think you mean ZV8 because we're still on a ZV6.
Or do they?
If you mean the Z subwoofer version 8, this is going to be many years in the future. The ZV7 will probably be coming out, I won't say soon, but I'll say next year. We're finishing up ZV6 production this year. ZV7 is already designed in the works. And we'll be prototyping very soon.
I assume he's asking about the Z.
I think he means the Z8-inch subwoofer as well. But I'm gonna cover both. If he means Z8-inch subwoofer, we're still a long ways away from that as well. Yeah. There's going to be several different revisions coming. We have the first prototype in-house built with non-authentic parts. There's still going to be a lot of tooling on parts. That is in the works right now. But I would not look for a Z8 no sooner than next summer. That'd be my try. That's assuming you mean the Z8-inch subwoofer.
It takes a long time to tool all new parts. This is getting custom tooled spider cone. We actually have the frames, but
we have frames.
We've been waiting on the cones because are those getting the W surrounds? Mega W's or
the latest prototype revision? They will not be getting the W surrounds.
Oh, damn it!
I like that surround too. It's what we've had on the 988 prototype.
A huge headache to try to get right.
The last word in the discussion is they will not remain with those W surrounds. There's been an issue. The main issue is in the production, full production, mass production of those W surrounds has been inconsistent, and until we can nail down to efficiently and efficiently produce those in mass production, they won't exist. So that's what's going on with that. All right, let's see. What's the best route for a 2007 Acura TL to add a Sundown XB212 and have a clean and clear signal? You want to take it?
Clean and clear signal. All right. Start with.
Let's say your question is not very detailed. Clean and clear signal tells us this is a head unit question, but you mentioned a sub as if you're looking to. I'd like you to rephrase your question and be more detailed. If you're looking for head unit suggestions, wiring suggestions, what exactly you're looking for here. But go ahead, Jerry. Just give him a generic answer for what you got.
A generic answer for clean settings. Eliminate all levels of level boost, bass boost, any of that stuff. Level output on your amp, I would turn that down, like the actual setting, not the actual gain. Past that, then that goes into sources like, you have Bluetooth, which is going to be, how do you describe that? What are the words I'm looking for?
I don't know what direction you're going with this.
Bluetooth can cause distortion.
Degradation.
Bluetooth can induce distortion.
Okay.
Matter of fact, like on my cell phone, for instance, if I'm hooked on Bluetooth and I hit my volume button, there's a level where it changes from blue to red. And when you get into red, you're starting to overdrive your signal and induce distortion. And that can happen with any Bluetooth signal. Matter of fact, Bluetooth, if for a wireless signal, Bluetooth is probably the most susceptible to induce distortion.
Most people also don't understand music sources, especially when going digital, and like everything's digital now. So like if you're pulling from YouTube music,
downloading YouTube music, I hate whenever somebody tells me, where'd you get music from? YouTube?
Like most people that have a system don't know this. Like really only like guys that have been doing it for a very long time that are really into music and clean settings and understand how to tune amps and all that, use no scope, realize that your source where you're getting your music from makes a huge difference in quality.
All right, here's a good question for you, Dave. I'm gonna switch back to a TikTok question with older questions. I want ZV6 soft parts for my X18 V2. So it's not a question; it's more of a statement. But
Not
explain a little bit about doing ZV6 soft parts on an X18 V2.
It's not a great parts choice unless you need a really stiff spider for some reason, like you have a really oversized enclosure with way too much power. You're gonna reduce your efficiency a lot doing that. Now, if you have an XV2, if you want a little upgrade without going too crazy and killing your efficiency, would be the ZV6 spider pack. That's a pretty good option because it's not too stiff. I've got several different coils that work well for the XV2 motor. The ZV6 coil does not fit properly. That's a different outer diameter on the coil, is a different size pole from the ZV6 to the XV2 or vice versa.
Yeah. Let's start with this and say so cone wise, your X and your ZV6 cone are the same cone.
Yeah, same
You're not gonna
cone.
see a difference there. Soft parts wise,
Different coil.
coil's gonna be different, spider's gonna be different.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be your main differences.
Yeah.
If somebody said something to me about wanting ZV6 soft parts on an X18, the first question I'm gonna ask is why. It's better if you're having somebody custom build you a subwoofer like Dave does for DL Designs.
He did.
It's better.
He did say ZV6, didn't he?
Yeah, he said ZV6
I'm
soft
retarded.
parts on an X18
I'm
V2.
here thinking he said NS.
If you're trying to take an X18, so there's a big myth that if you take an X and you just go, oh, I want a ZV6 drop in, you just, oh, I can have a ZV6 now. And that's not how it works. The motor dictates what a subwoofer is. So if you have an XV2 subwoofer, it doesn't matter what parts you put in, it's still an XV2 subwoofer.
Correct.
Going to ZV6 coil or spider will not give you ZV6 performance.
No.
The better thing is to say, hey, this is what I'm looking to do in my subwoofer. This is how I want it to play. This is the type of enclosure I'm trying to custom fit a subwoofer into or something like that. But more like you just let a custom builder know what you want to build, what you're trying to do with your subwoofer, and they can give you the best advice for parts.
Yeah, you can actually kill the performance of your sub.
Yes, especially with spiders.
Changing parts, because those parts were optimized for that motor, so that's usually going to be the best performance, unless you have, like I said, a variable where you got an oversized enclosure or too much power or something.
Yeah, I would venture to say from most guys, and asking questions like this, that you're wanting to upgrade parts, near 100% of the time, you're best off doing a stock drop-in. If you need to do a drop-in, do a rebuild or something like that, just buy the stock piece. The way that built was built from us originally, designed, is going to be its best performance. Unless you're trying to custom tailor it for some specific reason, stock will always be best. Here's another good question for you, Dave. So I can use one of your cones on a SCAR DDX basket.
I have reconed a lot of SCAR DDXs. There's no Sundown parts that drop directly in. I have some custom coils for those. Actually, I think I just ran out of them. So,
But the frame itself isn't an odd size or shape or anything. The cone
it's a
still
standard 4-spoke that's used on the SA. That's why people get it confused and think it's a SA. It's kind of a knockoff of a SA, but they're actually different size coils. So SA cone will actually fit on that frame. I think the spider will as well, but it's a completely different coil.
Oh yeah, somebody's needing parts. We have containers and containers of parts on the way. They're asking about parts coming in and cones and things. We have many containers of parts on the way. Yeah, they're on the way. I do not have on all the cones specifically off the top of my head. I'll have to get back to you on exact ETA. So we're gonna try and do this every week on Thursday. You normally do it around 1 o'clock. We got delayed today in doing this, but ask me that question, get all parts next week, and I'll make sure I have the answer for you to know exactly when parts will be back in stock. But if you need some parts, we have authorized guys like Directronics, Audio Apex, and I'm guessing one of these guys is going to be building you something and not just selling you parts. So yeah, just keep an eye on that. I'll give a more detailed answer to that next week.
Yeah, I'm waiting on parts too. I got subs to build.
Hey, Big Five, thanks for the share. They shared my live video. We got it. Can you send me a free SDDN? The answer is going to be no. Sundown Audio doesn't give away anything for free.
That's like a $1,500 sub.